Yo, look at this. It thinks that there's a stop sign just there. Okay, very nice. It's actually saying it will. Oh, wow, it is. It actually is, but jeepers. Welcome back, everybody, to Tesla Driver. I hope you're doing very well. Today, we're going to be testing AutoPilot 2020.20.12 in the rain in and around a UK city. Now, this has been requested loads to see if there's been any updates on how it handles wetness, how it handles a wet road, does it evade puddles, etc., etc. Now, in a video recently that actually showed the eyes of AutoPilot, or what it really does see, you'll see that it does actually get basically a rating on how wet it thinks the road is, and that can change depending on what road it is. So we know that deep inside this system, deep inside, maybe in shadow mode, it can sense what water's here, it can sense how much water's on the road, and it can see actual puddles. And I'm really intrigued now to see if it evades it or what it does. You can see picking up the bins, the lights and everything really well here, and we're just going to go straight across this roundabout. Going to bring it all the way down for it. And of course, it still can't do roundabouts yet, so we're going to have to pull it off for this one and do it ourselves. Again, I think it's just the amount of turning that the wheel has to do for the roundabouts. Currently it's too much for the regulations that are put in place. The car just can't turn around the roundabout tight enough because of the stupid laws. So hopefully that will be obviously taken out within a new update, but also hopefully maybe if Brexit does happen and we do split apart, who knows, maybe we'll come out of the UN law that's pulling us down when it comes to autonomy. I'm not sure if it'll be a good thing or if it will be a bad thing, but we'll find out. Okay, so we're coming out to some traffic works here, and we'll see how nicely and smoothly the car slows down and brakes beforehand for us. Yeah, really nicely, as expected. Okay, finally we've got a green light, so we can get it going. That was seriously the shortest traffic light time for green I've ever known. So cones coming out now, the car might freak out a little bit. You could actually see them being moved around live there, which was pretty cool. But you can see we're going to be quite lucky, and we're just going to flow down the road here, past the traffic, past all the crossroads. It actually showed there a traffic light, even though the traffic light was turned off. It did show it on there. So that's quite interesting to see. So I guess it's just looking for that shape. It's not necessarily looking for it whether it's on or off. It just wants to show the traffic lights. Okay, let's bring this up to 40 then. Press the button and up it goes. Interesting enough as well, in yesterday's video where we did like a vlog style video, so many of you really enjoyed it. So we're going to be doing our family vlogs again over on the Ryan Family channel. I'll link it down below in the description. If you want to see more kind of family style vlogs and stuff, they'll go on there from now on. I just had to put that up yesterday because I didn't want to go another day without having an autopilot video or a video about the Tesla on. So yeah, that's why I did that. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And also thank you all for letting me know that by pressing the right stick upwards will actually disengage AutoPilot. I weirdly completely forgot about that because I never use it that way. I literally never use it that way. But yeah, you can of course disengage. Oh god, that did a hard brake there for AutoPilot using that stick if you want to. Okay, so there, oh, okay, interesting. It was kind of freaking out about the cars on the other side of the road there, and I'm not 100% sure why. But it was giving us a little warning as if we were going to be driving into them. So we're going to be doing like the lap around Hereford here. I'm looking for any puddles. I'm looking for any kind of deviation when there's puddles. Or, oh, how's it going to react to that? So that car came out, but the Tesla wasn't worried about it. The car in front didn't brake either, so that worked really nicely. Every now and then there's a cyclist sign on the road, but it's actually not showing it. So there, for example, yeah, and it didn't show it on the road. I'm not sure why it's not picking those up, but again, that may be due to the water on the road. So there, for example, that's nice and clear. No, it didn't pick it up, and it definitely didn't put it on the road for us to see. But it's navigating this lot nicely. It also did pick up a pylon there, which is good to see. I do like it when it picks up pylons because they are quite small and hard to notice. We're going into a 20 here. The car slowing down nicely behind the Skoda, accelerating well afterwards. A little bit delayed. I would rather that be a little bit faster, but it was a little bit delayed. No problems here over the speed bumps. It actually thinks of the speed bumps as an arrow on the screen, which is quite cool. And I'm sure at one point it's going to actually have to slow down for the speed bumps. So I'm not sure how it's going to judge that, but at some point it will have to slow down for speed bumps. Will it go around this car? Yeah, it did. So it did brake quite harsh for it initially, but then it did find itself around the car, which is good. And now this road has no markings whatsoever. So the car's going to maybe go a little bit left and right across the road. We'll see how it behaves here. This Mini's pulled out a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be too fussed by it. And considering there's no lines, this is actually doing really well. Sadly, it is going into even very obvious little potholes that I would like it to dodge. But again, that's maybe for a later, way further in the future update. Pothole dodging. That's going to be really interesting to see when it can do that. Braking nicely for this corner. You can see there it went down to 28. Now it's braking a bit harder for it. So it still did do well. It could have slowed itself down a little bit earlier, but it sorted it out. And now we're going to hit some traffic. So let's see how well it works, this traffic. Again, a really, really tight corner here. Really tight left. And the Model 3 is doing this fantastically. Absolutely brilliant. Not great there, though, because it was about to go over the road. And obviously, there was a lorry coming. So there, the lines on the road were very hard to read. Back onto autopilot here. Looks like we're coming up to potentially some traffic lights and some roadworks. So we'll see again, how does the car navigate this? Is it going to follow the cones, or are we still going to have to take over because it might be a little bit too complex? Looks like the lights are turning green for us, and maybe it's just actually we can't turn right here, I think. So the cones are going to keep us in our lane. Yeah, it should flow through this nicely. It did go yellow, but obviously we went through on yellow, so that's all good. And as you can see, this is doing this really well. Picking up pretty much everything. It'd be interesting actually to come along the other side of the road and give it a go, because as you can see, there's some cones just like pushed out by the winds. This would be really intriguing. Maybe I can come back this way. No, it's definitely not going to do that bit. I'm not sure. It'll be an interesting test, to say the least. I've turned around and we're going to be trying to get to this. We're trying to get through this the other way, but we're currently not being allowed through, so I'm just going to have to kind of cross over myself. Yeah, there's no way that the autopilot system would have been allowed to do this. Oh, it's actually saying it will. Oh, wow, it is. It actually is, but jeepers, it went close to that cone. It's still doing it. Yeah, it's not following the cones, that's for sure. It's definitely following the lines, which I think confused it a little bit, because it actually started doing it pretty well. And then it just got way too close to that one cone. So yeah, coming back the other way definitely didn't work. Coming up some lights here. The car is going to stop, luckily, behind this Citroen. But obviously it wouldn't have stopped by itself just yet. But it can clearly see that there are 3 lights showing red, which is correct. Except this one, actually. So this light, let me find this one for you. This light all the way over here is actually the no walk sign. You can see it changed there. That was actually the no walk sign that it was picking up. So again, that's something that it's going to need to figure out, that it can't follow the no walk signs, obviously. And we're going to stay in our lane here. Again, sadly, it won't indicate and it won't change lanes for us just yet on these roads. That, again, hopefully will be coming soon in another update. It actually, funny enough, back in version 9, we're talking a year or 2 ago at this point, it actually used to do these roads and it used to navigate across the lanes on these roads for us. So that's more of a new thing that it's not able to do it. Okay, so it wants to attempt this roundabout, but I'm not going to let it because we've got cars beside us and everything. So we'll do the roundabout ourselves. I've got a taxi so close up my arse. He's coming out my mouth. It is unreal how close this taxi is. I think it's because this guy's going so slow, to be fair. Okay, right, back onto autopilot. We're going to put it back up to the speed limit of 30, and we'll let it do its thing. I wish this showed you that the taxi, like, it can show you it's behind me, but seriously, it's like there. It is literally like there. Okay, the lines here do disappear slightly, so I'm intrigued to see how the car deals with it. Absolutely flawless, no problem at all there. And again, it's proving itself really, really well through these kind of roads. as long as they're laned well and there aren't cars parked on the side of them and all that, it's doing really nicely. And the rain hasn't been any sort of differentiating factor at all. I've not noticed any sort of change in the car because of it. Let's see if it comes to a nice slow brake here. It's a little bit faster than I would want it to. There we go. Brake nicely. So coming up here is going to be a test for it because the lanes do kind of split apart and go separate ways. So I'm intrigued to see which lane the car here can see and which lane it picks. You can see all the pylons it's picking up in the middle of the road, which is really good. And it's going up slowly behind them. Is it going to follow them or is it going to try and cut around them? I'm not 100% sure. It was trying to actually go into the middle lane, or like this kind of right lane, which is to go forward as well, but if you go down that lane, you have to push in at the end basically, so it's not a favorable lane. But that's fine. It's not meant to do these areas yet, so that's not too bad. But you can see again, picking up all the arrows nicely on the roads, following the traffic nicely, doing all the important bits very, very well. Really quite impressed with how nice this drive has been on autopilot. There's not been any hard major tests. There's not been anything that's really cocked up, except for going slightly wide of that one corner. But still, that's way better than it used to do, because previously it would just fly at the corner and hope that you took it off autopilot, where at least now it does it itself. Let's actually put somewhere on the navigation as well. Let's go to the Charge Master, why not? And let's see if it sticks. Will it stick to the left here? No, look, it is looking to actually go round here. Oh, it's not sure. It's stuck behind this. It's stuck behind the van in the end, and it did follow the bus stop. But you saw there, that's pretty cool. You can see the guy walking beside us really nicely. But you saw there how it was so undecisive of which side it should go. That's how quickly it's changing its mind on its direction and stuff. So quite impressed to see it do that. And it has picked the correct lane for us, which is good. Weirdly though, it's put a stop there, and the stop is definitely not there. So we're going to be going left down here, following this van. Is the car going to follow it? No. Actually, it weirdly went for like a brake there to try and almost slow me down and go left. That was a little bit strange. I'm not sure what it reacted to, but it kind of felt like it was slowing me down to go down this way. Don't forget, if you have anything you want to see from autopilot, whether it's something stupid, fun, smart, whatever it is, let me know in the comment section. I'm going to try and do as many of the comments, as many of the questions as I can, because at the end of the day, that's what you guys want to see. So I'm going to try and make videos exactly on what you want to see. Loads of bollards there on the right, and it only picked up a couple of them. Let's see, is it going to follow the Ford or is it going to take the left lane? It's followed the Ford and it's taken the right lane. Yeah, it has in fact taken the right lane here, which is good. I'd rather be in this right lane than the first lane, if I'm being honest. But it was a little bit zigzagged, and you can see there's actually a backward facing arrow apparently on our road. There's definitely not, so that's an interesting one that it thinks it's picked up. So here it needs to go left to get into our left lane, but it has decided to go left at the end, but it was getting a little bit close there, as you saw. No problem there through the junction, which sometimes it does wobble at, because again, the lines do disappear very slightly. And how's it going to fare with this tight road with lorries either side of us? Hopefully no problems at all. Yeah, it's doing this all really nicely, keeping us nicely in lane. Sometimes there it has gone a little bit wobbly before, but as you can see, no problems. Coming in nicely as well, braking behind this Ford nicely, and coming to a stop. That actually, whoa, okay, it did a little bit of a, whoa, that was a little bit of a weird bunny hop. I don't know if you actually heard that from the brake pedal, but it did a little bit of like a, it wasn't 100% sure, I think, if it was to stop here or maybe just after the lorry. This is also where I get quite nervy, is when we're on autopilot and there are lorries right next to us, because it can get a little bit touchy on these kind of areas sometimes. So I'm hoping that the lorries go first in front. Yep, they've gone, they're way gone. And let's see what the Model 3 wants to do here. Oh, you know what? I think that was taking me way too close to that right-hand curb, and I decided to take it off because I think it was actually going to curb us again. There we go, put it back onto autopilot here. Keeping it nice in this second lane. Is it picking up all the pylons? Yes, it is. That's so cool to see. Picked up all the pylons there. And it's got no problems going back on this dual carriageway. So this time we're going to go through the centre, and we're going to see if that brings up more issues than we've had before. Again, bring us down nicely, nice and slowing us down behind this Focus. It's not showing a full line of traffic or anything. It definitely, I think the visualization's having some problems on determining whether it's like a car or a lorry or a 4x4, etc., etc. And that sometimes does make the car wibble and wobble about a little bit. Is it going to keep the left lane? Yeah, it has kept us to the left lane, which is really good. Because the lanes here kind of fork off and they do split into separate lanes. So the car almost 50-50s it. Currently we've got nothing on here to tell the car which way to go either. So let's put somewhere on for the car to go, shall we? So we can see it follow. Let's go. I think we're heading back this way. So I'm going to put that on there. Which lane is it going to pick? Is it going to pick the right lane or is it going to pick the left lane? It's not sure. It's picked the left lane. Yeah, it's definitely picking the left lane. That worked out well. The left lane works nicely for us as well, so we're happy with that. And here it is... so you saw what it tried to do there. So as I said, it slightly forks. Even though the lanes are laned, it very, very slightly forks there. And the car was actually trying to go into the lane that the Honda Civic on our right was in. And I think it was going to nudge in, if I'm being totally honest. I think it was going to nudge into that lane. So I had to pull it off for our own safety. So we'll put it back on here as we enter this 20. And bring it back down. Yeah, we're back down to 20 anyway. Oh, going slightly in the middle. Yeah, okay, going back across. I wasn't sure if it knew that was 2 lanes there, but it has kept into this left lane. So it's got to be careful on those kind of, I guess, merging into other lanes and stuff. It needs to make sure that it can go across into those lanes. Picking up the lights nicely. Picking up the pylons as well, which is cool to see. And keeping us in this left lane. As we come out of the 20, we can tap the 30 to bring us up to the speed limit. And actually it's bringing us a little bit faster than I wanted to. So here, for example, is another interesting situation or an interesting scenario that I'm intrigued to see how the car deals with. It's a left-only turn. Oh, it didn't want us to go past. Okay, it is going past the lorry now. But it's a left turn here for us. And I was intrigued to see if the lights were going to show like a different light instrument cluster. But it actually didn't in the end, so we'll just keep it how it is. Back onto autopilot here. And which lanes are going to pick? It's picked the left lane, which is the one I wanted it to be on, which is good. And nicely behind this Ford Focus here, back into the lane. So it's doing pretty well. Again, don't forget, guys, it is really not meant and ready for city driving yet. So as this keeps on continuing to get better, the improvements are going to be humongous, like absolutely humongous. But it's doing this really nicely. If it can keep to the center lane here, if it can follow this Ford Focus, that'd be great. Ford Focus braking hard, and our car has braked hard as well. That was really, really good. So this gap is slightly too big for me, but even if I put my car on 1, it won't go close enough. And now the thing is, if I put my accelerator down, it will get closer, but as soon as I try and ease my foot off the accelerator, it brakes so hard that it feels unnatural. Oh, it didn't. They've updated it. It always used to brake so hard if you were on autopilot and you started to creep to a car in front of you, because obviously it thought, oh, you might crash. So it used to brake loads, but now it doesn't seem to brake loads. It does think there's a stop sign there. Yo, look at this. It thinks that there's a stop sign just there. And there's literally nothing there. I don't know what it thinks is a stop sign. What does it think is a stop sign, guys? There's absolutely nothing there. I think it thinks the pole of the lamp is the pole, and then it thinks the red light is... Oh, no, actually, I think it thinks the red light, again, of the no walking sign is that stop sign. I'm not 100% sure, but it is interesting to see that it's picking up some anomalies that we haven't seen before. It's really, like, it's tucked behind that light as well, isn't it? Okay. So let's see how well they change, though. You can see that... Will it disappear when the lights change? No, it didn't disappear when the lights changed. And as we go across, it is asking us to apply force because all the lanes and lines disappear. I think it worried slightly. But again, followed itself nice. Good confidence for these areas. Picking up the lights nicely as well. And interestingly enough as well, you just saw that car drive through a load of bins. And there weren't any bins there, but it drove through a load of bins apparently. So I think we might be picking up some things that aren't there, and that might be because of the rain. I think that's what we're seeing here. Picking up cones and pylons, kind of not sure which one it is, but it just puts one of them up, which is good, better than none, I guess. Again, as we come up here to this roundabout, if we didn't have this Ford in front of us, it wouldn't slow itself down, but it has slowed itself down. In fact, it's going straight across the roundabout. Why not? There's no one there. There's no one at this roundabout. Will it go straight across it? Yes, it did. Look at that. We've gone across two little roundabouts with no problems. So here there's a big puddle on the left. Yeah, the car definitely isn't trying to dodge these puddles. It's not trying to react differently to whether the surface is wet or not, which is a shame. I thought it was going to, but it doesn't seem to be. You also, back there was a phantom stop line again, so that's strange to see. So I still think you need to be slightly more vigilant when you're in the rain. You need to be really vigilant all the time, but you need to be even more vigilant using autopilot in the rain, because it does sometimes pick up some anomalies, which means it will also sometimes miss lanes, lines, and certain things. But overall, really good. And we've done a lap of the city here, and we've not had any major issues, just the issues that we expected to come across. You know what, let's finish this video by trying to park the car and seeing if there's been any update to the parking system, the auto park or the parking feature that the car has. So we're gonna go into this car park here. And if we're lucky, we should be able to park next to a car. So we're gonna try and park either in between this BMW and the Skoda or the Mitsubishi, whichever one comes up first, we'll jump into. There we go, one of them's come up. So let's press start. I'm just gonna look around, make sure there's no humans, no doggos, no one around. And how quickly does it park now? Previously, it used to take about a minute to park, which in my opinion is a little bit slow. But as long as it does it perfectly, I don't really mind as of yet. Okay, very nice. And this is a fairly tight gap. You can see that the cars are close to the lines, but our lines here in the UK are very, very short and very small. And I've got to say, this has done it really well. Let's see if it'll tuck it all the way up at the back as well. Oh, a little bit of a change there. And stop. Yeah, look at that. That was really good. Okay, I mean, again, it was pretty slow, but it's right in the middle and it's parked us really, really well. I hope you enjoyed today's video, everybody. It's a bit wet, bit rainy, and that was the perfect opportunity to test autopilot in these kind of normal daily conditions. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and also become a patron if you want to support the channel even more. No pressure, but thank you to all of our new patrons. Until next time, don't forget, drive safe.